Welcome to Miles Around. In the driver's seat, it's this, the 2007 Mercedes E-Class Bluetec. Now, the first E-Classes were seen in the 1950s, but it wasn't until the 2006 Detroit Auto Show when we first saw the first Mercedes E-Class Bluetec. Now, this vehicle is the only full-size sedan in a diesel version available in the United States, and it is the latest and greatest in clean-burning diesel fuel engines available in the world.
You know, Nick's right. Mercedes-Benz has taken their decades worth of experience with diesel technology and applied it to this second generation Bluetec. Never before have you seen a diesel actually run so smoothly without the soot and the experience that you see behind the car ever before in a luxury sedan. Now, Mercedes is not just about performance. Sure, it's got tons of torque and a 7-speed automatic transmission. We'll talk about that when we get under the hood, but it's more about the luxury experience that you have with the Mercedes-Benz. We'll jump inside. We'll look at the best place to be on a Mercedes, in my opinion. It's behind the wheel, or even so, the back seat. Luxury, creature comforts, leather, all the things that you kind of apply to that three-pointed star. But right now, let's take a look under the hood.
It's really hard to explain in less than a page what a Bluetec engine is, but the shortened version is it's an engine that burns very clean. And that means the diesel that you put in puts less bad stuff into the environment. Right, Dennis?
You know, Nick, you're right. When you pop the hood on the E320 Bluetec, you see a standard engine cover from Mercedes, but there's something different under there. The turbocharged 3-liter V6 puts out 208 horsepower and 388 pounds-feet of torque, driving into a 7-speed automatic transmission, and of course you have Mercedes' great suspension and drive on the road. But it's about this. It's about fuel mileage and the way that they give you so much more. 780 miles between stops at the gas station. Now, when you fill this thing up with diesel, you have to realize that it's a little more expensive here and there because it is a huge tank and it is a luxury car, but imagine only doing it every 2 weeks. Mercedes-Benz has been able to take a luxury car and give it not only power, but fuel mileage to boot. If you try to take the phrase style and panache and Mercedes-Benz and put them together, they almost seem like they're bread and butter. This car is one of the quintessential luxury cars in its class and always has been. Mercedes-Benz has been real careful to take the E-Class and make it aggressive, but yet not overly aggressive. The car can appeal to that young guy that wants a luxury car, but yet it can also appeal to a woman that wants to kind of fit in the crowd and not make herself look or be seen. It's a car that really does combine class and great looks together.
And to continue some of those thoughts, Mercedes have done a great job in keeping some of their classic E-Class looks, yet still updating the car and making it more modern. One of the features I want to point out to you on the outside of the vehicle is this optional glass panoramic roof. And Mercedes is making leaps forward. It's not available on many cars in the market today, and it's nice to see this option available.
One of the best parts of a Mercedes-Benz is the interior. Class, sophistication, great material choices in the front, which I'll get to in a second, but also for the passengers, and I think Nick's got a couple things to tell you.
Yeah, it sure is nice here in the back. It is very luxurious, and the seat fits and forms my body very well. I'd like to see a little more room in the back here. It's kind of squished, especially when you have someone in the front that's over 6 foot tall. But I'll tell you a couple of things that really do make me laugh in the back here. It is so German in the back of this car. It still has ashtrays in the rear, and it does have some nice features as well. This bug sunscreen area here, so, you know, to keep the sun off your face. You don't want to get too much of a tan while you're driving down the Autobahn.
Well, that's where I'd like to be, is in this driver's seat and on the Autobahn. The first day I got this vehicle to test, the first thing I had to do was take about a 60-mile trip on an interstate freeway. You put the cruise control on, you sit back, you enjoy the seats, you enjoy the great ambiance of the leather, the smell of all the materials, the wood in the wheel, the incredible sound system. It brings all those things that are Mercedes-Benz together. It's so much roomier than such cars as maybe an Altima or an Accord, which really are that much bigger on the outside. You know, you stretch your legs out in this, you look through the roof that Nick talked about, and it makes you remember why Mercedes-Benz has always and probably always will be one of the best luxury car makers in the world.
We've looked all around the outside of the 2007 Mercedes E-Class Bluetec, and Dennis, I'll need your 2 ups and 1 down for this vehicle.
Well, Nick, I'm going to take the mechanical side. It's the 3-liter turbocharged diesel under the hood. 208 horsepower, like I said before, and more importantly, 388 pounds-feet of torque. Driving through that 7-speed transmission makes the car feel very quick, 6.6, 0 to 60 in a car that, I mean, it's a diesel. You don't expect that to be fast. The other up for me is the ride and control. It's a Mercedes. It's supposed to feel that way. I don't know how they do it so easily, but they do make a great handling car, and they make it look easy to other manufacturers. My down, Nick, would be simple. It has a little bit of lack of room in the back. Now, I know it's not an S-Class, and it is just the E-Class, but I think if they did just a little bit of size or maybe space management, the car could be a little bit more roomier in the back seat.
Let me tell you about my 2 ups and 1 down for this vehicle. My up has to be, the first one that is, the fuel consumption. This car just does so well on fuel, and that diesel, it really helps you financially, especially with that diesel price being fairly high.
Well, sure, almost 800 miles on a tank of gas.
Absolutely. My other up for this vehicle has got to be the dash layout, and that includes from the shifter all the way through the gauges. It is probably, and I really mean this, the best dash layout I have ever seen in a vehicle. My down for this vehicle, and it's hard to find a down for this vehicle, but the down is kind of nitpicky, it's the center console. It's that European, very high center console that seems to waste a lot of space in the vehicle, and I think again it goes with that back seat thing. They could have managed the space a little better in this car.
The 2007 Mercedes-Benz E320 Bluetec comes standard with a 3-liter V6 turbocharged diesel and an electronic 7-speed automatic transmission. It has a base price of $51,550 with an as-tested total retail price of $61,565. Amazingly, 26 miles per gallon is its EPA rating in the city, and an even better EPA miles per gallon rating of 35.
Here are the guys that make miles around possible. The Russ Auto Group, Baxter Auto Parts, Northside Ford, Ray Reese Dealerships, 4-Wheel Parts Performance Center, Grand Prix Imports, and J. Lee's Auto Group. Thanks, guys.